Far beyond the crowded cities of Europe and North America lies a land where almost everything feels larger than life. Mountains rise directly from dark Arctic water. Icebergs drift past small towns painted in bright red, blue, and yellow. Glaciers stretch toward horizons that seem to have no end. And across most of the interior, there are no towns at all. This is Greenland. Known in Greenlandic as Ilulissat, this enormous Arctic land is the world's largest island. But despite its size, fewer than 60,000 people live here. More than 80% of Greenland is covered by ice, creating a frozen interior so vast that almost every permanent community has developed along the coast. And those communities are separated in a way that can be difficult to imagine. There are no roads connecting Greenland's towns. To travel from one community to another, people often rely on aircraft, helicopters, or boats. In parts of the country, winter adds another option that has existed for generations: the dog sled. Life here has always required adaptation to the cold, to the sea, to darkness, to isolation, and to a landscape that can change dramatically with the seasons. But Greenland is not an empty, frozen wilderness. It is home. A place with modern cities, ancient traditions, fishermen, students, artists, hunters, and families whose relationship with the Arctic reaches back through generations. On this journey, we will travel from Greenland's capital to one of the greatest ice landscapes on Earth. We will enter communities where roads simply end, travel beneath the midnight sun, cross frozen landscapes by dog sled, and reach a settlement so isolated that wilderness begins almost immediately beyond its houses. Welcome to Greenland. Life at the edge of the world. Look at Greenland on a globe and its scale becomes immediately apparent. The island stretches deep into the Arctic, between the North Atlantic and Arctic Oceans. Its total area is more than 2 million square kilometers. Yet almost all permanent settlements are squeezed into narrow coastal strips where rock emerges from beneath the ice. The interior is different. Here lies the Greenland Ice Sheet, an immense body of frozen water covering most of the island. From the air, it can appear almost endless, white extending toward white. Very few landmarks, few signs of human activity. Only ice. But eventually, toward Greenland's edges, the frozen interior begins to descend toward mountains, valleys, and fjords. Glaciers move slowly toward the sea. Some eventually break apart, producing the enormous icebergs that drift through Greenland's coastal waters. Most Greenlanders live on the western side of the island, where many of the largest towns are located. And yet even here, the coastline is incredibly rugged. Fjords extend deep into the land. Mountains separate communities. The ocean becomes the main connection between places. This geography has influenced almost every chapter of Greenlandic history. Where people settled, what they ate, how they traveled, how they hunted and fished. Even today, with aircraft, satellites, and modern communication, the landscape remains powerful enough to determine how people move across the country. You don't simply drive across Greenland. In most places, there is nowhere for a road to go. Greenland's capital is Nuuk. From a distance, it appears almost impossibly small for a national capital. Mountains surround the city. The sea lies immediately beside it. And beyond the urban center, wilderness begins remarkably quickly. But Nuuk reveals something important. Greenland is not frozen in the past. This is a modern Arctic city. There are apartment buildings, schools, restaurants, offices, shops, museums, and cultural centers. Cars move through the streets. Young people use the same technology found almost anywhere else. Contemporary architecture stands beside older, colorful wooden houses. As of July 2026, Nuuk had more than 20,000 residents, making it by far Greenland's largest population center. And yet, compared with most capitals around the world, it remains very small. From central Nuuk, mountains and fjord landscapes are only minutes away. The contrast is striking. One moment you're walking past modern buildings. A short time later, you're looking across enormous water toward mountains with almost no visible sign of development. Nuuk is also an important center for Greenlandic culture. Artists, musicians, and designers combine modern influences with traditions rooted in the Arctic. Greenlandic is the official language. Danish is also widely used, and English is increasingly familiar, particularly among younger people and within tourism. This mixture of tradition and modernity will appear again and again across Greenland, because modern life has arrived here. But it hasn't removed the geography. The mountains are still there. The fjords are still there. And the Arctic still decides much of what is possible. Now imagine leaving Nuuk for another Greenlandic town. You pack your bags, you check the weather. But you don't get into a car and begin driving, because that option doesn't exist. Greenland has local roads inside towns and settlements, but no road network connecting its communities. Mountains, glaciers, fjords, and enormous distances make that kind of infrastructure extremely difficult. Instead, Greenland is connected through the sky and the sea. Aircraft travel between major destinations. Helicopters serve smaller communities where conventional airports may not exist. Passenger boats and ferries connect coastal settlements when sea conditions allow. For visitors, this can feel unusual. For Greenlanders, it is simply part of life. A journey that might involve a highway elsewhere may begin with an airport or a harbor. The landscape remains involved in every journey. This also explains why Greenlandic communities can feel so distinct. A town may not be particularly far away on a map, but there may be a mountain, a glacier, or a wide stretch of ocean between you and it. Greenland does not have one continuous road connecting its people. Instead, its towns form a network of small human outposts scattered along an enormous coastline. And perhaps nowhere is the relationship between human settlement and the Arctic more spectacular than our next destination, Ilulissat. Ilulissat is one of Greenland's most extraordinary towns. Colorful houses climb over rocky hillsides. Fishing boats move through the harbor. Dogs wait beside their kennels. And beyond the town, some icebergs rise like frozen mountains. Others resemble walls, towers, or strange white sculptures. Some are brilliant white. Others glow blue beneath the surface. And everyone is slowly changing. Wind moves them. Currents rotate them. Waves erode them. Sunlight reveals cracks and layers. Eventually they break apart or melt. But new ice is constantly arriving. Just outside Ilulissat lies the Ilulissat Ice Fjord, one of Greenland's most remarkable natural landscapes. At the head of the fjord is Sermeck, an extraordinarily active glacier carrying ice from the Greenland Ice Sheet toward the ocean. As the glacier reaches the fjord, giant sections break away. Icebergs begin their journey toward Disco Bay. The result is a landscape that never looks exactly the same twice. UNESCO added Ilulissat Ice Fjord to the World Heritage List in 2004. It is important not only because of its beauty, but also because researchers have studied the area for generations to better understand glaciers and climate. But Greenland's most important story is not the ice. It is the people who learn to live beside it. Human settlement in Greenland reaches back thousands of years through different migrations and cultures. The ancestors of today's Greenlandic Inuit developed remarkable knowledge of the Arctic environment. Survival depended on understanding the sea, the weather, animals, ice, seasons, and movement. Technology developed around those needs. One of the most famous examples is the kayak. Today, kayaks are used around the world for recreation, but their Arctic origins were practical. They were lightweight hunting vessels designed for a world dominated by water. Traditional clothing also reflected the environment. Materials had to provide warmth while allowing movement. Knowledge was passed between generations: where to travel, where to fish, how weather changed, how ice behaved. Modern Greenland is completely different from the communities of centuries ago, but cultural connections remain. Greenlandic language is spoken across the country. Traditional national clothing is worn for important celebrations. Kayaking continues both as cultural heritage and as sport. Greenland is not simply a wilderness waiting to be explored. It is a homeland, Kalalit Nunaat, the land of the Greenlanders. Look at Greenland's map and another fact becomes obvious. The sea is everywhere. For generations, coastal waters provided food. Today, they also support Greenland's most important commercial industry: fishing. Boats leave harbors across the western coast, searching for species such as Greenland, halibut, shrimp, and cod. Some fishermen operate relatively small boats close to the coast. Farther offshore, larger vessels work on a completely different scale. The catch may eventually travel far beyond Greenland. Seafood from these cold waters enters international markets thousands of kilometers away. But in smaller communities, fishing can mean something much more immediate. It can be employment, food, family tradition, and sometimes the economic activity that helps keep a settlement alive. Winter can transform the process again. In some northern areas, fishing continues through sea ice. Fishermen may travel using sleds or snowmobiles before lowering fishing lines through openings in the ice. When you see a small fishing boat moving between enormous icebergs, it may look insignificant against the landscape. Economically and culturally, it is anything but. Then winter changes the landscape. Water freezes, snow covers trails, temperatures drop. And in parts of Greenland, one of the Arctic's oldest forms of transportation becomes part of the landscape again. The dog sled. A team moves across the snow while the sled glides behind them. There is no engine noise, only paws striking snow, the creak of wood, the runner beneath the sled, and wind moving across open land. Dog sledding has deep roots in northern and eastern Greenland. For generations, dogs helped hunters and fishermen move through places where other transportation was impossible. Today, snowmobiles, boats, aircraft, and helicopters have transformed mobility. For visitors, a dog sled crossing an empty white landscape can look romantic. But historically, this wasn't created as entertainment. It was transportation designed for survival. A practical solution to the problem Greenland presents again and again. Summer brings the opposite world. Snow retreats from lower ground. Harbors become busier, hiking routes reopen, and north of the Arctic Circle, darkness begins to disappear. The sun approaches the horizon, but doesn't leave. This is the midnight sun. For weeks and farther north for much longer, daylight can continue throughout the entire night. At midnight, people may still be outside. Boats cross the water. Children play. Hikers remain on the hills. And giant icebergs turn gold beneath a sun that seems to have forgotten how to set. On Greenland's eastern coast lies a town that takes isolation to another level: Ittoqqortoormiit. Its houses appear as tiny patches of color surrounded by mountains, ice, ocean, and enormous wilderness. Visit Greenland describes it as the country's most isolated town. There is no road connecting it with another community, and wilderness begins almost immediately beyond the settlement. To the south lies the immense Scoresby Sound fjord system. To the north stretches Northeast Greenland National Park. The scale is difficult to comprehend. A small human community exists here beside landscapes stretching for hundreds of kilometers with almost no permanent population. Traditionally, hunting and fishing have played important roles in life in this region. Greenland is often photographed in a way that removes modern life completely. A sled, a hunter, an iceberg, an empty village. But those images tell only part of the story. Modern Greenlanders live in a world of smartphones, internet connections, supermarkets, schools, universities, music, television, and global culture. There is one final part of Greenland's story that cannot be ignored. The Arctic is changing. Glaciers are monitored closely. Scientists study Greenland's ice because what happens here matters far beyond the island itself. Ice records information about ancient climates. Modern observations show how glaciers move, melt, and interact with the ocean. Greenland is culture, language, families, cities, villages, music, fishing, history, and everyday life. The ice matters enormously, but so do the people living beside it. And perhaps that is why seeing Greenland only from a satellite will never be enough. To understand Greenland, you have to look closer, past the ice, past the distance, past the empty spaces on the map. Because this is not the end of the world. For thousands of people, it is the center of it. This is Greenland, life at the edge of the world. If you enjoyed this journey, subscribe to Nomi Travel and join us as we discover another extraordinary place and another story from our incredible planet.